Okay, recording this video on Sunday, the 12th of February 2023, just gone 3 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So, time for another weekend futures market recap. We'll go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I'll show you what I'm seeing on my charts. And this weekend, going to start off with the intermediate time frame charts because they're looking interesting, particularly the right-hand side of these charts. So let me go through that first. Whether I'm looking at kind of day trading charts or swing trading charts, they're always set up in the same pattern here with the 15 markets kind of arranged like this. We've got the Forex contracts on the left-hand side. We've got the Euro, British Pound, Aussie Dollar, Japanese Yen. Japanese Yen acts a little bit differently than these other ones, so it's kind of separated down here. We've got the two largest financials with the Emini and the 10-year notes. And then we've got our precious metals with gold and silver and Bitcoin beneath that. Bitcoin sometimes acts kind of in concert with the precious metals. And then on the right-hand side, the more traditional kind of futures, commodities markets. We've got the energy complex with crude and natural gas. And beneath that, copper. Copper, good proxy for global economic growth. And then on the right-hand side, we've got the ags. We've got corn, soybeans, and wheat. And this weekend, these particular charts have really got me interested. We've got the crude, natural gas, the ags, and 10-year notes. So I'm going to go through those and just show you what we're seeing on this kind of long-term basis. So wheat, first of all, wheat's been really kind of sold off after having these limit up days. We had 4 or 5 kind of in a row here that went to the highs at 1400 with exhaustion buy patterns. We tested and then we fell off into a downtrend here. Now, Friday's activity, super important. That was a really strong bar here, closing the week out on Friday, having had kind of exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, a flush pattern down here, little blue professional bar, and we're about to break through the trailing stop on Better Pro-Am. So we're super sold off on wheat, and it's looking strong at the moment with that very last kind of bar on Friday. Then let's look at soybeans here. Soybeans, we've been stuck in this kind of channel for a long time. We didn't have exhaustion buy patterns at the highs. We had them kind of testing up into these highs here, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, and that's why we fell off. But never kind of went anywhere, never broke through this kind of blue professional bar down here back in July. But the activity over the last couple of months has been really interesting. So the professionals kind of sell it down super hard. We kind of trade back up, they take profits, we get sold off again. But this activity here is more looking like a U-turn on professional bars. So sell it down and then they buy it up. And then with Friday's activity again, last bar on Friday, super strong close here, blue professional bar, kind of potentially getting us out of this channel. So soybeans looking strong as well. Let's look at corn. Now, corn didn't sell off as hard as, say, wheat, but it never really kind of topped out with a classic pattern with blue professional bars taking profits at these highs. We kind of ran out of steam after exhaustion by bearish divergence, and we sold off into these lows where the professionals kind of pick it up here. But again, the pattern over the last couple of months, couple of weeks, a bit of a U-turn on professional bars here, selling it down, buying it up. Got bearish divergence, we're kind of stuck in this range here, but again another strong bar on Friday. Is that bar going to take us with Monday, Tuesday's activity out of this trading range? So there we go. So the ags are looking really strong this weekend, potentially busting out of kind of channels they've been in for a couple of months. So that's really interesting. Crude next. Crude, kind of sold off with crude. Wasn't a traditional high up here at 120 with blue professional bars at the highs, which just kind of ran out of steam and kind of traded lower. But over the last couple of months, we've had exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, a flush pattern here. Also, a little bit of a U-turn here with blue professional bars kind of selling the low and buying up that kind of dip. So selling it down, buying it up. Also, a little bit of a U-turn pattern here. During this week, kind of getting this move going, and we're just busting above Better Pro-Am's trailing stop. Ordinarily this would have given us a triple signal because we had exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, we were oversold, blue professional bars come in and break above the trailing stop, but this got in the way, the grey background. So that was an overbought condition that temporarily kind of really was trading off these highs, and that kind of came in. So that's not going to give us a traditional triple signal, but effectively that's what we've got with busting up through this Better Pro-Am signal here. And then natural gas. Natural gas has been sold down super hard, and I've been talking over the last 2 weekends videos that something's happening, because on these longer time frame charts you can see we've got blue professional bars kind of coming in here. We've got super high average trade size professionals stepping in down here at 250. This week wasn't the week. We kind of came back again, kind of tested into those lows, but Friday's close was pretty strong on natural gas. We just need to get above this kind of area here around 290. That'll start to be interesting for the next move up in natural gas. So lastly, let's just look at copper here. So copper signaled 6 months ago here with our triple signal and has been strong ever since. We've had uptrend bars here with the bars painted in red, a little bit of weakness, then we bust up to 430, 440, and we kind of sell off here. So we're temporarily in a little bit of a downtrend, and we've got an exhaustion sell signal here kind of getting this move going. So that's not going to be over until blue professional bars kind of step in, or we get another exhaustion sell signal here. So copper is not like the others. Copper is looking weak. However, the ags are looking strong. Crude and natural gas are looking strong. Now, I wouldn't say these are kind of traditional setups for all of these indicators kind of going off, but they're all kind of strengthening at the moment. And I think what links them potentially is the war with Russia in Ukraine. And that all of these things are looking like the war might heat up some more, and it's going to start to have implications for these kind of global markets, the ags and the energy complex. And the trouble with that is we've had inflation kind of coming off over the last several months, but each of these markets is going to ripple through if prices go higher to higher inflation. And been bullish on bonds this year, but over the last several weeks, bonds have weakened quite considerably. We had a triple signal this week on this 460-minute chart after having exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. We were overbought. Blue professional bars kind of came in here on that test, bang, and sold it down kind of super hard, and we're breaking through here. So bonds going down means that rates are going up. Rates are going up potentially because inflation is going up. Inflation is going up because of these ag markets are starting to strengthen here. So that could be an important kind of story over the next several weeks and months. So look out for that. Strengthening of the ags, busting out of channels, and being followed along with crude natural gas. And we start to see resumptions of those uptrends, and we start talking about those markets again. And as a consequence, kind of negatively impacting the bond market, starting to weaken at the moment. So there we go. Big picture on the kind of intermediate charts here. Let us look at the E-mini just very quickly. So we had a week after last week's video. We kind of saw that there would be some weakness. I thought we'd get a little bit of a bounce at some point this week, but no, Powell chose to speak, and so that kind of scared markets a little bit more. Potentially on Friday we're starting to hold. Remember, intermediate wise, I think we're in an uptrend. We're going to continue to bust up through 4,200. Question is, when are we going to catch and start that move? So we're in an uptrend with the background in red here on the daily chart. The 135-minute chart here, again, still strong. We've had exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, flush patterns here, and that's why the market kind of took off in that region. Some blue professional bars at the highs may be taking profits, but better pro-am has not been broken on this time frame, so that's kind of interesting. So does that mean we're going to hold here? 45-minute chart, again, you can see all that blue professional bars taking profits at those highs. We need a little bit of time for these higher time frame lines to cross on better sine wave for us to hold, but we're the 40-35 level is absolutely key, and we're still in an uptrend on better sine wave here. 2 time frames supports are holding at the moment. So let's see, 15-minute chart backing it down. There's nothing to say that we bottomed down here with blue professional bars for exhaustion sell or anything like that. And the 15-minute chart, we're still in a downtrend here, although just having a little bit of a respite. So maybe we got to do some testing of these lows for that area to hold. There's those blue professional bars kind of taking profits. Exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, and that's why we rolled off last week. And then the 13,500 tip bar chart, and this is kind of interesting because we've got all our Rambo patterns showing us where the amateurs are getting wrong-footed. They got wrong-footed here and here and here, and they're getting wrong-footed down here at the bottom. Remember, a Rambo pattern is a potential reversal of an amateur breakout. When the move is being led by the amateurs, it's potentially suspect. So they got it wrong here, they got it wrong here, they got it wrong here, here, you get the picture. So we've had blue professional bars kind of come in here just below 4100, exhaustion sell, bullish divergence. The amateurs have got it wrong, and so busting up through this trailing stop on Breda Pro-Am would force them out of those positions. So that's kind of important. And potentially busting above resistance on this pullback level here would bust us into red bars showing strength and an uptrend, and better momentum is pretty strong at the moment. So that could be it on the downside in terms of testing. Let's wait and see Monday, Tuesday if this whole area catches and we kind of get up through 4100 and we get a resumption of the uptrend in the E-mini. So let's look at the tick bar charts next to see if we've got any signals going on. Euro first. So remember, the vertical solid yellow lines shows the beginning and end of weeks. So that was the beginning of this last week. We continued the sell-off in the euro. Tried to catch down here at the bottom with exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, but not enough blue professional bars really to end that move, and we came into trouble here at 108. A whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of come in here, take profits, bang, and we're back down kind of looking for blue professional bars to come in at the next area of support. So that is the euro. British pound. British pound was my best trade this week with short following this signal here. So we had blue professional bars, not unlike the euro, kind of testing up into 122, bit of a U-turn here, kind of heads down. Took profits on this trade on Friday, but looking at this, it's still in a downtrend and we've not got an oversold level kind of come in yet. So maybe that's another opportunity to sell any bounce in the British pound. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar still weak. We had signals last week short. Came back to test into those highs, 71.5. Blue professional bars kind of come in here, selling it down. And when we didn't have blue professional bars right at the lows, as soon as we got a little bit of a bounce, the blue professional bars came in here and sold it down as well. So that's the Aussie dollar. And lastly, Japanese yen. Japanese yen, we got a signal at the end of this week. That was a long signal last week into those highs. Wasn't a kind of a classic pattern because we didn't have exhaustion buy bearish divergence. The professionals just sold it down at that point, bang, 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 into those lows. And we've not seen exhaustion sell or blue professional bars coming at the lows yet. So Japanese yen potentially still weak. We talked about the 13,500 tip bar chart. Midweek, we tried to rally a little bit, but I think this is when Powell was speaking with all the volatility, and then the blue professional bars kind of came in here at 41.80, bang, and sold it down. And potentially we've got a signal kind of setting up for Sunday into Monday on the E-mini and the 10-year notes on the tip bar charts. That was a nice signal last week, short at that point here. Market tried to hold down here, but it failed. Again, probably Powell's probably speaking around this kind of area, and we've just sold off since. But you know, we could have a signal setting up this week in the 10 years. Exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, blue professional bars kind of come in here, and it's oversold. So we might have another kind of triple signal trying to stop this move down in the 10 years. So gold and silver. Gold, we had a pattern here, no signals during this week's trade. Silver, what have we got? Trying to hold down here. We've got some triple signals going on. Some blue professional bars come in here, exhaustion sell. So that area getting above 2240 might be interesting on silver. And then Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a nasty week here. Signals at the beginning of last week tried to hold this area and then just kept on going down. No exhaustion sell down here, but this was exhaustion sell kind of getting that move going. Short covering rally didn't work, bang. So no signals there on Bitcoin yet. Crude. So crude thesis is that it's kind of a long-term or intermediate-term uptrend. And we had some signals at the end of last week. We exhausted with exhaustion sell down here. Not a classic, no blue professional bars, but as soon as we get above the trailing stop, we're kind of busting into an uptrend here. So crude potentially continuing there. Natural gas has been playing around, but that whole family of blue professional bars, I think natural gas is looking really interesting for busting out of this kind of channel and getting going above $2.85 to $3 on natural gas. So copper, no signals this week, and then let's see the ags. Corn, so pretty junky around here. We're just trading in a fairly tight-ish range, but we have a whole bunch of triple signals going off during this week on corn. and soybeans short into that move there, but exhaustion sold, bullish divergence. Sorry, the bullish divergence came in here, so that's why the triple signal didn't go off, but we bust above those blue professional bars 1512. That was obviously an important level there. So soybeans looking interesting, and wheat, well, wheat just took off out of that congestion zone this week, Thursday, Friday. So yeah, Friday's trade. So that's interesting. So so for me, at the end of this week, the ags kind of continue to bust out of those channels, potentially natural gas and crude, same thing, and we'll see if the Emini holds. So it's going to be an interesting week. Let's see if I'm right on this kind of thesis with the ags and the energy sector kind of taking off, because those will be some good trades to be held for a couple of weeks if they kind of work out nicely. So there we go. Hope your trading is going well.